Hi, I'm Giovanna, and I love dessert. I love it so much that I don't think it counts as going out to dinner unless you get the dessert menu. Am I right? So that's part of the reason that I'm up here to talk to you about starting a cupcake business, which all started at an aptly named bakery called Cupcake in Minneapolis. And I couldn't believe that this bakery was devoted to one single delicious item. And so though it was 2 miles from my apartment, I would walk religiously a few times a week, burning off the calories, a nice perk. Imagine my sadness when I came to Madison and saw there was nothing that was quite like Cupcake to fill the void. And if I wanted to do that, I was going to have to make them myself. So my roommates were super pumped because I would crank out some cupcakes. And I thought about actually starting my own cupcake and entered a business plan into a contest that I didn't win. So I tried another contest a few years later that I also didn't win. It was a Facebook contest put on by Delta, and my Biscoff Crunch cupcakes ended up losing out to Biscoff-covered salmon. Disgusting. So I was back into baking and was trying to find other avenues to, fill this void with. So I found a great charity event called Iron Cupcake Madison, where they invite 10 bakers to donate 300 cupcakes. The public gets to come and vote. Turns out this was another contest, so I stayed here until I won. It took a few of them, but I finally won something. And thank you. My friends were so used to voting for me and thinking of me as a baker that one of them asked, "Can I buy some cupcakes from you?" So I came home and told my husband, "Good news, we're starting a cupcake business." I had a full-time job at Shine United, an advertising agency, which I loved, so I just decided to add this on top of it. A little bit tricky when you travel a lot for work, but I thought I could figure it out. That might sound crazy to you, but I don't really just run before I walk. I kind of plunge right in. So I've done a sprint triathlon with no training and 2 days' notice. I completed a Tough Mudder earlier this year, never running 12 miles in any given day, let alone adding all the obstacles, but that's just me. So back to Frosted. We have orders, we're up and running, we're selling at football games, we're catering weddings. The power went out the first time that I made a wedding order. Terrible story, but I digress. But I had a brand. I wasn't really sure if it was a business, but hey, strangers were ordering from me, so that makes it real, right? So many strangers that we actually got some very interesting web mentions for an ombre cake that I baked in some semi-popular web spaces. Didn't do a lot for traffic, but did add a lot of likes on the Facebook page, so there's always something. And I'm not sure what it was about this, but the idea of having my product in a package with a frosted sticker on it really made this real to me. So I was super pumped when I asked a grocery store to carry my cupcakes, and they said yes. And I like saying yes a lot more than I like saying no or I'm not sure. So this really didn't end up being a financial success for me because I didn't ask the right questions. Speaking of non-financial successes, let's talk about cake pops. The cake pop on the left is the first cake pop I made when I said, "Sure, I can totally make you 36 cake pops." That's 10 hours later, cha-ching, $30. All right. Speaking of not making a lot of money, when you try a lot of things, it can be fun and exciting, but spending 8 hours making motion W's, not the best business decision. Neither is saying I could totally make Gotham City out of fondant when I've never made anything with fondant before, but they both worked out. So I looked for other avenues for my business, and I found a new one, smash cakes. This was great to get beautiful pictures of children eating and playing with your cakes, but again, not a very big financial success. So I kind of kept at it and kept moving. I found the one thing that was a financial success was selling those cupcakes at football games, which led us to believe that a food cart would really be the way to go to make this into a business. But with that came a ton of hoops and a ton of risks. I was gonna have to give up my full-time job, which I loved. I was gonna have to give up my health insurance, and for the first time in my life, I did not plunge right in. It's not always about the money, but for me, I was taking all of my spare time that I had and not making any money doing it, and not even eating the cupcakes myself. So for me, this really wasn't a good balance. So I thought about what I'm good at. I'm good at making delicious treats, I'm good at being really humble, and I'm also good at marketing those delicious treats. I like how people feel when they eat my cupcake. I like how happy they are. I don't really like running a business. So I decided to take a break. I hadn't made anything for myself or my family in months. I dreaded pulling out the mixer. I started having nightmares about missing batches of frosting. So I thought this was really time for me to take a break and focus on my full-time job and keeping a hobby a hobby. It took me a few months before I was able to pick up the mixer again. My husband got me the Bouchon Bakery cookbook for Christmas, and I was actually able to pull out the mixer last month and make a batch of blueberry muffins. They were delicious, not only because I made them, but also because they were 100% fun and 0% stress. And that's where I landed, that my hobby, I tried to make it a business, It's back to being a hobby. And that's what's right for me. And if you have something that you love, I hope you find what's right for you. Thank you.